I think a great place to start is why don't you talk about what Akamai is doing with the connected cloud, and and that'll lead perfectly into why you even chose to deploy VPUs and where the opportunity is.
Absolutely. Yeah. So as you mentioned, Mark, cloud computing is something relatively new to Akamai, which has kind of traditionally been thought of as a CDN provider. But recently, with the acquisition of Linode, we have started offering kind of a full continuum of compute. And we think of our compute infrastructure as sort of having three tiers: a core, distributed, and edge. So you can design your custom deployment and leverage different types of locations and cloud computing services. And that allows you to scale your streaming application, increase your performance, deploy infrastructure as close to end users as possible for those hyper local events. And for now, we've introduced VPUs as a part of our core infrastructure. I'll focus on that side a little bit specifically. And we find that the core is typically where the majority of our customers' heavy duty or resource demanding infrastructure lives. But I could also see these expanding to distributed sites in the future.
Yeah, I like the fact that you're able, being a CDN, it's a very natural and a completely possible evolution to go from the core, to kind of one ring out and then all the way to the edge. I think that's just super key because in traditional cloud infrastructures, you're stuck in the core, right?
Right.
And there's certainly workloads that's completely acceptable, and that fits both from a technical, architectural, and even a cost reason. But as the edge becomes more important, why not do your processing on the CDN, in the CDN, where all your bits are being distributed, and then eventually all the way at the edge. So I think that's really, really important to point out there.
I agree. And I think that that speaks to the value really of having VPUs in the cloud generally. Traditionally, and I think some of what drove us to really want to bring NetInt into the connected cloud was we kept hearing from our partners and our media customers that they were adopting NetInt VPUs on-prem. But in doing so, that they were limited to their on-prem locations.